Night, Lori, from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin. And I had just a little bit of stuff flying around here a second ago. So welcome. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, coming to you from Wisconsin a couple of minutes earlier than the last couple of nights. So we're going to pretend it's still Wednesday, December 3rd, and we'll make believe it's 11:59 p.m. instead of 11:01 a.m. December 4th. So, let me get my devices up to speed here, and I'll see if I can follow along with anyone who joins me live. We are going to do a card within a card fun fold. I don't know what else to call it. So I am almost there. All right, we're good to go. So a couple of announcements quick. I guess I'm out of water. A couple of announcements quick. Cyber Monday started December 1st. It will go through the 9th. This is a sale. Excuse me. This is a sale for prepaid Paper Pumpkin subscriptions. Now, Paper Pumpkin is a monthly kit that has everything you need in a box to create some fun projects. So the kit for November was called Wrapped in Cheer, and I demonstrated a few of these. This one happened to be some treat boxes. I have a few extra things in here that didn't come with the kit. And I made some alternate cards that I did some online classes for. So there's a lot you can do with the kit other than what it might come designed for. So this was to do 8 treat boxes with the little tags. They're really very cute. Let's see if this is the one. Yeah, this is the one I did where I stamped it so that when you lift it up, you could actually see what was on the tag. So that's a Paper Pumpkin kit. We do not know ahead of time, typically, what it's going to contain. We might have some hints, but we don't know. It will come with the stamp set. It will come with an ink spot. So the ink spot would be something like this. That is the featured color of that kit. And all of the laser cuts. Hello, Juju. Hello, Yuda. Welcome. I think MacMan's probably fast asleep. But anyway, Paper Pumpkin has everything that you need. Card bases or the treat boxes, all of the little ephemera pieces are already laser cut. The stamp set. The first time you have a kit, when you subscribe, you get a block as well. So this is going on right now. You need to subscribe by the 9th. The 10th is the cutoff for normal subscription period. When you do order that prepaid, you automatically will get the December kit. So if you're already a subscriber, you will want to suspend your December kit on your current account so that you don't get multiples. All right. Product of the month. Qualifying orders of $75 or more will allow you to get this designer series paper pack for just $5. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. All right. So $75 in the US before tax and shipping, and you can then get this designer series paper for $5. There are 12 sheets, 6 designs. They're 2-sided papers, and I think they're going to be gorgeous. They're going to be fun to work with. The Paper Pumpkin kit doesn't go towards the $75. No. The prepaid Paper Pumpkin, because that's on a different ordering platform, does not qualify for the $75 purchase to get that product of the month. So the product of the month is going to be something different every month. That product will be good for the month in which it's released. If there are any left over, it will carry over for the same price in the following month. You need to have an individual order for each product of the month you wish to purchase, and you're limited to 1 each month. of the designated month. So let's say you don't get one in December, you get one in January. You also want the December one. You would get two, but you would have to place two orders. One is if you're doing a December order, one is if you're doing a January order. I hope that all makes sense. So very good point, Juju, about that prepaid not counting for the product of the month. Stampin' Up! Is doing a virtual card retreat. Now, this past year, a few months ago, I don't even remember when it was, July, August, I don't remember. They did a virtual album retreat, which was a 12 two-page spread scrapbooking retreat. Everything you needed came in the box, except like a block and your snips and that sort of thing. But you got 2 stamp sets, and there were like, I don't know, 125 stamps or 140 some stamps. There were no dies required because all of the pieces were already cut out. You got all of the cardstock, you got all of the bases, all of the things, and the online class was 8 hours for 3 days. So it was really cool. This is basically a similar concept. This is going to go over 2 days. Each of the days will run from 2 to 9 p.m. Mountain Time. So January 22nd and 23rd. You can begin purchasing this on December 10th. All right. And this should qualify for the product of the month because this is on the normal ordering platform. So this does cost $165, but it's for 15 cards. They are going to be more involved cards, not necessarily like SIP, the SIP cards, which is stamp, ink, and paper. They're going to be more elaborate cards. So if you're looking for a little bit more challenging of a virtual class, this might be one to pick. All right. If you've got questions on that, let me know. If you're a demonstrator, it's all on our demonstrator portal. Okay. Don't forget that I have a new online store. Well, the store is the same. I've just changed the name. And it's now latenightlori.stampinup.net because sometimes Macari is hard to spell. All right. So visit my online store. I will be adding things hopefully a little more frequently once we get past these holidays. And last announcement for today is the new mini catalog. If you are a customer of mine, let me know if you want a catalog. I did do a mailing selector, so Stampin' Up! Will send some of them out automatically, but others you need to let me know if you want a catalog. So either way, let me know. If you are new to me and you do not have a demonstrator, and if you are not a demonstrator, let me know that you'd like a catalog, and I'd be more than happy to get one off to you. I cannot show you the inside of the catalog because that would be breaking Stampin' Up! Rules, and I'm not a rule breaker. Not when it comes to this. All right. This catalog will go live on January 6th. I can show you just the front cover. I can show you any of the products that I get in my hands, and I can show you things that I make with those. So we did a little bit of that a few days ago when I did the Sunshine and Tulips. This is a new bundle that's coming out January 6th. It's very cute to work with. And unless there are questions, I think we're going to get down to business. All right? Does that sound like a good plan? And don't forget, if you wouldn't mind, give me a thumbs up, share, like my videos. That helps me out. I don't think I'll get to 1,000 viewers by the end of or subscribers by the end of the year, but it would be fun to do that, to get to 1,000. So I talked the other day, yesterday, probably the day before, Saturday, I did a glass blowing class at a glass shop that we have in our county. It was the day we had horrible weather here. There were only 2 other students in the class. There were supposed to be 12. They canceled because of the rain because of the snowstorm. We got 11.5 inches of snow. But MacMan decided he needed to drive me in for my class so that I would be safe which was great because I've got a 4-wheel drive truck. So I would have been fine. But it was very nice of him to drive me in. And then he watched the class because there were so few people he could watch it. It was very interesting for him as well. So I picked up my pumpkin today. And this is what I made. Isn't this gorgeous? This is my personal project. So if you are familiar, hi Vicki. If you are familiar with Chihuly, he does blown glass sculptures basically, or he used to. He's gotten older now and he has a team, you know, of other artists that he has shown his techniques to. But I made this. I made this. It's so exciting. The instructor who did the class did the little curly Q thing for the top because that's a little more involved and they want you to have like the perfect piece. But I got to do all of the glass blowing. I got to add the color to the melted glass and learn about the process. I've done glass fusing before, but never glass blowing. And I'm going back. I'm doing this class again. This is the 3rd year I've been trying to get into this class. So I'm so glad that they didn't cancel it because then I would have had to have waited until next year when they start this particular class, like in September, I think they do it. So the instructor is with you, coaching you, but then when you start doing the turning and adding the color, that's done independently. And then it has to stay at the shop for a couple of days so that it cools down slowly, so that the glass isn't compromised. So I'm just super excited with this. I thought it turned out really good and I'm super happy with it. So let me go put this in a safe place so that I don't knock it over. The class was far too expensive for me to want to just randomly just break it. And I'm so happy with it. So I will be going back and doing more glass blowing. They do ornaments and paperweights and gazing balls as well. So I might do an ornament or a gazing ball. We'll see. Those classes I don't think have as much of a draw as the pumpkin. So next year you can bet I'll be trying to get into a pumpkin class because one lone pumpkin just won't do. You need to have at least 2. So tonight we are going to have to decide what paper we want to use to do a card like this. I was working on some paperwork earlier and I'm thinking, okay, what do I want to do for tonight? And you know me, I don't always have, seldom do I have a prototype ready to go, right? I know, Yuda, I think I need 3. You're right. But you can only do 1 at a time. I was hoping Saturday, since there were so few people there, I said, I want to make another one. And I would have paid for the class, of course, but I think they wanted to go home for the snowstorm. So I will be making more. I tried to get MacMan to make one with me since they had cancellations. I thought I'd pay for him to do one too, but he was like chicken. So he's not so much into the crafty stuff, but I think he would have had a fun time doing that. So anyway, I was doing some paperwork and I looked up at one of my display boards and I thought, you know, this is a card I need to take off my display board because it's been a couple years since we've had this paper. But I thought the card was kind of fun. I think I got this at a swap or at a team meeting. And I think this was the one my team lead had done for the group. But we're going to change it up a little bit. All right. So this is just like basically a postcard, kind of like our spinner card that we did the other day. We did this one and that just basically sits on a card back, but it's got a lot going on, right? So it's got a lot going on where this one doesn't have so much going on. I want to do it as a regular card. So I did work out the measurements for that. So if we get a piece of cardstock, now you're only going to be able to get one card out of, or one card base out of a sheet of cardstock, because we need to have it 5.5 inches tall to fit in our envelope. But then I need, for the fun fold part of it, the way it came out in my head, or the way it came out from my head, is we need 9 7/8 inches. All right. And then we're going to score it at 3.5, and we're going to score it at 7 3/4, because we're going to end up going like this. All right. And this becomes kind of an optical illusion gate card, because normally gate cards meet in the middle and these overlapping. So maybe I'll call it an overlapping gatefold. A card in a card overlapping gatefold. Overlapping gatefold, card in a card. I don't know what I should call it. I've not seen this before. I mean, this is the closest I've seen, but now I'm changing it up to do something different. And then we need another piece that's 5.5, so the same as there. So I wonder if we had, no, because that's more than 12 inches. I was thinking, oh, we could maybe use 12 by 12, but that won't work either. So this piece, anyway, squirrel, is 5.5 by 4 inches. And then I've scored it at 2 3/4. So we're scoring it on the long side. So that 5.5 in half is 2 3/4. Because that we're going to kind of tuck under here, and it's going to come like this. Now I put a little hash mark here on my mock-up, because that's where it's going to be centered. And this is, if you want to do the same thing when you do yours, this is just going to be like a pencil mark at 1 3/8, and then you'll be sure that it's centered around your card. So this piece is going to be adhered to that under flap, but it's going to go right to the edge. Okay. And then we'll be able to see some things under here. We're going to put some DSP here, and of course some DSP here and here with a focal point probably, and then a little message in here. I'm not sure how much DSP we'll put on all the layers. We'll have to see. So first off, I think what we need to do is decide if, that comes in handy, hey? We'll have to decide first off what paper we want to use. All right. And hopefully it won't be like last night where I was running out of sized papers that were the right size papers. All right. And then this one I'll just keep over there. So since we're in December, I thought we could keep working with some of these more Christmassy papers so that I can use up the last of them, and get ready for all the new stuff. And I got another order yesterday, the day before, recently. So I have more new stuff. That's fun. And then yesterday, of course, because I wanted to get that, product of the month, because I want to have it. I need to have it. That's just it. I needed to have it. I had to place another order. And then I think I forgot to order the new kits that were available. I think they dropped yesterday and I forgot to order the kits. So now I'm going to have to place another order. But anyway, so which paper do we think we want to look at? We've got this Modern Christmas. Yeah, Modern Christmas. This is a Specialty Designer Series paper. So there are metallics in here, and this is the butt paper. Do you have enough of the poinsettia papers? We might. All right, so here's just the black and white. We could probably make something kind of classy with that. Or maybe that'll be an alternative one. And then we've got this, which is the Traditions of Christmas. And I still haven't done all of my virtual class with this one, so I may not even have enough paper for my virtual class. I might have to pull out something else. But we should have enough to do this one, because we'll just need a couple of different pieces to coordinate, and we don't have to go front and back. We can go front, front, front if we want, because of how the fun fold is. So this could work. And this has the different poinsettia designs on the back sides. We could do these. So we could do blue, traditional Christmas colors. I'm good with that. All right, so then let's see what stamp set. We'll have to figure out what stamp set to use too. Butterflies. That was, no, that's not Delicate Pines because that's the other one. Or is this? What is this one called again? Traditions of Christmas. I don't remember what stamp set went with that one. Does anybody else remember the stamp set that went with that one? Oh, we could do a sweater thing too. Florals. Oh, the gingerbread man would probably be too casual for that one. Label Me Grateful's got the poinsettia. That might be nice with some of the velvet paper, maybe. Yeah, so, all right. So then let's figure out, it had poinsettia dies to match. So, well, this one has poinsettia there. I think this is the only one that I had poinsettias with. Do you think? Or am I missing a set somewhere? Did I set it somewhere? I've also got this one, but if I pull in the velvet paper, let's see, because the piece on Earth with the blue didn't have poinsettias in it, but these, oh, Delicate Pines did too. So, the velvet is what I used with the Label Me Grateful, because I did the poinsettias with this die, and the foliage was with the Delicate Pines. So that, here's the poinsettia. I wonder if this is the one. Hi, Bon Bon. Do you think this is the one, Yuta? Because that was what I used to make this poinsettia. Oh, going out and back in so many times. That's crazy. Oh, no. Well, I hope it's fixed now. That's weird. Sometimes I have trouble even getting in, but tonight it went like bam, 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 and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in already. Who knew? So I'm just going to set that one over there. You probably can't see it. It's out of the way. Excuse me. But we could do Delicate Pines with some of these, and then the foliage pieces here, I use this piece and just cut it down. You couldn't get in at all last night? Well, that's a shame. We had a handful of people here too. All right, so let's just kind of figure out what we want paper-wise. And this one too, this gift card holder, that was done with the poinsettias from the Label Me Grateful also. So we can use a couple of those. I'll just set those off to the side. And I will keep those out as maybe inspiration. Pardon my reach. And I don't know if we'll use this one at all, but there's some fun stuff on there. But this may also be too casual. Although this would be very pretty, but I would have to fussy cuss it. All right, so let's check out some of the paper here and see what color we want our bases to be. All right, so that when I do a template like this, I appreciate your perseverance, Bonbon. Excuse me. So when I do a template, I will use old cardstock because I usually move old stuff out, but sometimes I'll just hang on to some of the colors just so I have it handy to do templates. And then I can write on here what all of my instructions are, and then hang on to it. So we'll still need to figure out what size we need our designer series paper layers to be. And then if we're going to do like a belly band, maybe. Because somehow we need to have it closed. Although if we we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out when we get there, right? All right, so let's take a look at some of these papers and see which ones we like. And I've got a lot of these little scraps that I think I might just make like a little scrap card. So we need some bigger pieces, but some littler ones like this could work on here with the right color base, of course. So that could work. If we wanted to do a green stripe, we'd have to cut that down just a little bit. So I'll hang on to that one. And then we just need pieces that are about 5.5 inches long. So this one is, yeah, we actually need them to be like 5.25. So this one is good. That one's good. And it's 2.25. So we've got lots of pieces we could use here. Oh, I like this one. I don't know if you ladies like that one. But that one's 6 inches, so we can use that for sure. We can use these. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to 6 inches. The stamps are poinsettia petals. I do not have that set. If that was the name of the stamp set, I do not have poinsettia petals. I'll look again, but I don't. No, I go from perfectly pairs to pop and buy. I do not have poinsettia petals. All right, so these little strips I'm going to set off to the side. And then these little ones we don't need, but some of these pieces, I'll get the little ones out of the way. That one's kind of pretty. And that would be all right if we did another layer of cardstock under there. And granted, this is not going to be the color we're going to use, so I'll hang on to that piece also. We could use a bunch of different pieces. And I think while I'm at it, oh no, I probably shouldn't cut these all down because I might need them for that virtual class. So we actually have quite a few choices. So we've got this broader poinsettia. We've got this little pink poinsettia. All right, so this is this one. And this is a different one. So this one has gold in it. This is really pretty. And that's got the dots on the back. We've got some of this stripey. We have some of this stripey too. I don't think we've used this recently for a card, but then this has the bigger bouquets, and those are not poinsettias. They're just some other kind of flower. I don't know what those are supposed to be. So that's the same as that. And then we have, oh, let me get this back over here. Those are all the same. And then we've got this red. And this has pink poinsettias too, and they're just a little smaller than this one. All right, so let's figure out, do we want to do a red card base or an old olive card base, or we might even do a pink. I'll get, I think it's real red. Let's see. Oh, it is, oh, cherry cobbler and real red. So let me go pull these cardstock colors. Cherry cobbler, real red, old olive, some secret seed, and I don't remember what color that pink was. Oh, it doesn't even have the pink on here. Cherry cobbler, old olive, pool party, real red, secret sea, and gold. So I think that might be like bubble bath. But if we want traditional colors, we're not going to go with a pink, right? Does anybody like the pink for a card base? Yay or nay to the pink? Oh, you like the pink? Okay, I'm a little surprised. But I'm not disappointed because I think it's pretty. We actually had some pink and like soft sea foam or something a couple years ago. Okay. Juju, I did not know that about you. All right, so I'm just going to move these other colors out of the way. And we're just going to start cutting. Do we like this loose poinsettia or the tight poinsettia? Bon, you love pink also, huh? Vicky, you're not into the pink? Well, we'll pretend it's a different color for you, or maybe we'll make two. So you like the loose pink better, so there's a little bit more white in there. There's also the pool party in here, I think. So we might do some of our layers. Let me go get pool party also. We'll see how many layers we need to do. So I've got the pool party in there too, because that's that you, I don't know if you can see it, but in the, oh, we wanted the loose one anyway. The loose one, these leaves here are pool party. So I think this is going to look really cool. You ladies have good taste. All right, so let me get some of these pieces out of the way. I'm going to hang on to the pool party, and I'm going to hang on to the bubble bath, and I'm going to move these others just out of the way. We can come back to them later, and we need this one. Oh, turquoise on your Christmas cards is probably very pretty too. That's not that one. Here we go. I'm just trying to keep these kind of organized. I'm to the point where I really want to cut these down and put them in one of my little storage pieces, you know, the ones that I'm talking about. This might be kind of fun too. We'll see. We'll see. We'll need some layers. All right, so let's start with our cardstock then. If we do the bubble bath, I'm going to take out 2 pieces. And my trimmer. And I think it might be time for a new blade. Yes, this blade is really worn. You can see where this is all just chunked out of there. I just changed the blade in my other one, in my other trimmer that I use a lot. So here's just the new blades, and I just pop that off of here. And then to dispose of them, I just put the old one in there. And then like here, I just put washi tape on here so that I knew. Hello, Tanya, welcome. I put washi tape on there so that I know that these are old, but I'm going to know both of these are old ones. So I'm just going to set that off to the side. So when I do my blades, there's a little notch in here. I don't know if you've got the Stampin' Up! Trimmer or not, but there's a little notch in here. And if you just set this on the tray, on that flipper arm, it'll catch in there and just go down. And you want both pieces to go into the track. So you just have to slide it back and forth a time or two. And then sometimes you need a new scoring blade too, because those wear down also. And I do a lot of scoring. I don't just fold and burnish. My card bases, I actually score them first because I think it looks nicer. So this is the one that we're going to cut at 5.5 right away. And that's a much cleaner cut than I've been getting. So I think I was past due to change my blade. And then this one, I'm going to go ahead and cut a 5.5 off of here because that's what that mini card we need. So 5.5. Old blades are good for your box board so you don't dull the new one too fast. I have a guillotine trimmer that I usually use for some of that kind of stuff. That I don't care if I've got a really sharp cut on them, a real neat. So that's what I do my heavier stuff with, is my guillotine trimmer. And that's just one I've had. Oh man, it's a Boston brand guillotine. I've had it, I don't know for how long. I probably had it for 30 years. All right, so now this piece, let's pull in my little template here. So I need this piece to be 9 7/8. So I'm going to extend the arm on here. Oh yeah, absolutely, Bonnie. I think they definitely look better when they're scored. So 9 7/8. We're gonna go ahead and trim that. Now we could hang on to this. We might need it to, like, I don't know, put a sentiment on or something. And then since I have this here, I'm going to go ahead and score per my template at 3.5 and 7 3/4. So 3.5 and then 7 3/4. And then, because my bump, my mountain, is what I want in the middle. So this is the side that I had up when I scored. So the side that's got the dent in it is actually the outside of your fold. All right, because you've already broken those fibers so that they don't split when you fold it. All right, and this is how this is going to be. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and burnish these. This is some very stiff paper. All right, so that's our overlapping gatefold. All right, so now this other piece that's 5.5, I can go ahead and close this. I need it to be 5.5 by 4. So here's my 5.5, right? So I'm going to turn it and I'm going to cut off 4. And then I can save this. And I just keep all my scraps, my bigger scraps of my cardstock, right in the package that it came out of. And I have open shelves that all my paper goes in, my cardstock. So that way when I pull something out, I can just verify the name there and I have the edge open here. It keeps all my paper nice and clean and protected. It works for me. All right, so we're going to turn this back so that we're scoring along that long side. And I'm going to go to 2 3/4 because that's going to be my halfway mark. And then we can go ahead and burnish this as well. And then I think we're done with the trimmer, right? So now we just have to figure out what some of our layers are going to look like. So this is going to go here. Now my template, I could have put a little hash mark in here. When we first started at 1 3/8, I could put a little hash mark because that's going to be like where my middle lines up. But the way I did my template, if I put this little mini card right along this edge, it's in the middle. All right. What do you do with all your scraps? Just throw them away? I only keep the bigger ones. It's probably some kind of crime that I don't keep them all, but I have a recycle bin. I recycle exactly, Bonbon. I mean, how many scraps can you really keep? You know, at some point you're going to be overrun by scraps. When I first started doing Stampin' Up! Stuff and making cards more often, I had a bin and I put all of my little scraps in my bin. And, you know, when I needed a smaller piece, I would go rifling through my bin. And I thought, this is crazy because there's no organization to it. It's just a mess. I finally got rid of them. I kept the bigger ones, but that's when I came up with this because this works for me. So like this scrap is definitely usable. All right. Because if I fold this in half, I could have it as a flip up on a card. So I just kind of decide what scraps will be big enough for me to save. This one would be good for a layer. But the smaller scraps, I usually get rid of right away. I just don't tell people. Organize and process them. Well, you go for it, Juju, because you're better at it than I am. So anyway, so now let's figure out what we want our layers to be. All right. So here I'm thinking if we do the stripes on the front, do you think you want to do in those, or do you want to do 2 different colors? Let's see. So here's our sample. So she did 2 different designer series papers and a 3rd designer series paper. She only did a layer under here. I will more than likely do layers on all of mine just because I think it looks more finished. Yes, my cards get thicker. Yes, my cards get heavier. Yes, I sometimes have to do more postage. But that's me. All right, so you do you. I usually do more layers than fewer. All right. And one thing to watch out with that I noticed on her card was when I opened it, it was hanging up. So this banner actually extends past her little mini card. So whatever focal point you put on yours, you're going to want to make sure that it stays within at least the left side confines of your card where the fold is. All right, for that mini one. All right. So let's go ahead and at least put, I think this paper is very pretty. I think we'll at least put that on here. And I'm going to cut a piece of Pool Party. And let me get my ruler. So if we've got 3.5-ish. So let's do 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And see how that looks. If I have to recut it, I have to recut it. All right, so that could go there. And we could even make that a little larger. And then this, I'm just going to cut this at 4 because that would be like a normal card layer size. But if this was 3 1/4, I'm going to go down to 3 1/8. If that was 5 1/4, I'm just going to go down 1/8. And let's go 3 1/4 minus 1/8. And let's just see. So this is just going to show just the 1/16 of an inch of that pool party around there. Bonnie, what's the smallest scrap you save? That looks quite pretty, don't you think? So then, let me get some of those other cardstock pieces here and see. It'd be nice if there was one that had a lot of pool party on it, but I don't think there was. Lots of greens, lots of reds. That would be kind of flashy. Here's one without the gold. We might keep this for like the little layer. Save 12-inch strips when you cut paper down to. I don't know if, where'd my other little piece of paint go? So there is green here. Let me just cut this down so we can actually visualize what this will look like rather. And let's just take off. I think I need more than 1/8. All right. So this could pull in the green from the branches, although there's not a whole lot of branch action going on here. It's a little bit more than when I turned it over. So that pulls in some of the green there. Should I save these, Juju? No, they're going in my recycle bin. So really, there's only this piece that's got the loose. Oh, this is even looser yet than that. Is this the one that you thought, Bon? But I think this could actually go here maybe. Or maybe I should fussy cut this and make this my focal point. Because that would go that way. What do you think? That might make a fun focal point. Let's trim it out and see. I haven't done much fussy cutting lately, so maybe it's about time. You did some rolled flour, so you cut, oh, cardstock? An 1/8 inch. Oh, yeah, so like quilling. I saw a card just demonstrated yesterday, I think, from the product of the month. I think they're calling it it might be the Design Council, or they're just other demonstrators from around the world that are making projects with the product of the month. And one of them showed some quilling flowers that she put on one of the projects from the product of the month. So I don't know if I can just use like tweezers to help me roll the stuff up, Bon. What do you have? Or do you have actually like a quilling tool? Vicky, what's the smallest scrap you would keep for your collages? I know it's probably painful to watch me fussy cut. I apologize. I don't find it nearly as relaxing or therapeutic as some people do. I find it unnecessary evil. So the other thing that Stampin' Up! Has announced too is if you want items in time for Christmas, they are recommending that you place your orders by December 9th. And remember, if you are new to my team, I don't remember if I had a November 30th challenge or a December 30th challenge to put your first order in to receive a gift from me. Keep that in mind. And with any luck, I'll get some of that stuff out this week because I should have had it out already. And I've been like too distracted. Too many things going on. I'll be working for the college a little bit tomorrow afternoon, training somebody, and that might be one of the last times that I work with her. She's been there over a year, so you know, things come up only randomly that she needs some direction on, but I'm getting kind of done with that, you know. And then Saturday I get to do some instructor monitoring. We've got some American Heart instructors that need to renew their credentials, so I will be following the rules and observing them teach classes. Well, I'm almost done. And then if you guys say you don't like it, I might cry. But I'm definitely not going to throw it away because I went to all this effort to fussy cut it. It is going on something. All right. So you found a tool. Needle nose pliers works all right though. I have a couple of pair of needle nose pliers, as long as MacMan hasn't borrowed them. All right, so that's gonna kind of go there. That's gonna go there. And I just wonder if on the inside here, because we're gonna want to put a little sentiment, if I do a layer of Pool Party and then a layer of white, that'll pull out more of the Pool Party. What do you think? So we'll do 2 5/8 by, let's just start with the 2 5/8. I don't want to confuse myself too much. So 2 5/8. And then here we're going to do, if that's 4, we're going to go to 3 7/8, and we'll see how that looks. That'll be nice and narrow. I could probably take just a smidge off of here. You made another journal? Some of your journals are really big. I know it's not called Big Bertha, but you've got one that you just keep adding stuff to, right? How long does a journal usually take you to make? Till you decide you're done? All right, so that'll be there, and I think I'll put a little white piece in here. So we'll go down a little further there. So we'll do just 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 ace. No, that's not 2 and 7 ace. 1 and 7 ace. No, 2 and, what am I doing here? Let's go, oh, 7/16. Let's see if that looks right. Yeah, I think that's right. This is one of those days where apparently math is hard, which is why sometimes I just eyeball these. So that one I'm going to cut off right about there. So you like making the bones, and then what do you do with all of your journals when they're done? Do you sell them? Do you give them away? Do you just croon over them? It used to be hard for me to give away some of my projects, you know, like to mail out cards, because it's like, oh, I really like that. But part of the solution to that is to make 2 cards and send one and keep one. So Bon, you've been productive. All right, so I think that looks kind of good there, because the white pulls out the white there, and the balmy blue, or the pool party rather, pulls that out. So we do need to decide if we want this like so, and then maybe we just want to put this same layer over here so that it doesn't look too busy. You give away and you throw them in a box. Give them away or throw them in a box. See, they're too cool not to share, I think. So do we like the green on here or not? Or maybe the stripes is just too much. I'm not sure that I'm down for that one. Pool party might look pretty. We'll take a gander at that. So I forgot what I said this one was. What size it was. So we're just going to eyeball it. Put it in my trimmer, line it up, and cut. All right, so that's going to go there. That flap's going to go there. And I think I might actually use like a Velcro dot. That can go there. That can go there. But we might need to stamp something on that, because that's a lot of blue. Maybe I should put gold behind there and emboss it with something. Oh. Or maybe if I just emboss that blue. We can emboss the pool party with the wreath. plaid might be a little too casual. We could do the gathering leaves. Emboss the blue. All right. So the other thing that we could do is I have this Whispers of Texture, and these have texture on them. And we could do a little bit of ink blending. So there's like a tweed, and there's a stripe. Looks like we got 3 each of 2. Yeah. So I don't know if you can see that, but we could do some ink blending on these too. Why don't I cut out a piece of that and we'll see what it looks like. And if we don't like that, we can always emboss. I'm going to use this one. Get rid of some of those scrappy pieces. And I'm going to steal this and line it up in the trimmer so that I don't have to measure. That almost cuts like it was vinyl. It's a heavier cardstock. Or designer series paper, rather. So that's kind of pretty. I could do a little bit of ink blending on there. What do you think of that? Can you see it? This has got bumps on it. Let me get Pool Party ink, maybe. Pool Party. I don't have a brush for that one. Who's Bob? I missed Bob. Oh, way to go, Bob. Bon. I get it. I missed that one too. All right, so let's just put a little bit of Pool Party on here and see how that looks first. And I think I can get these out of the way. And let's move the trimmer. So you can see the texture on there now a little bit, I think. I'm not sure how I got purple on there. Hello, Susan. Oh my goodness. It's really hot by you today. Well, and it's below freezing for us. Where I am, anyway. Macman was worried about the chickens. But they're inside their condo. And hopefully they'll be all right. They looked warm enough when I was checking on them earlier. Can you see that texture on there? I don't know if you can see that texture or not. It's delayed for me, so a little bit of this on here. I don't want to glue this part down just in case we decide not to do the pool party after all. And then if we put this on here, oh, I wonder. We might be able to put some of these rub-ons on here. We'll see if that works with the texture. Or I could go like this somewhere the pool party shows. And I could still put texture on there, or we want to make sure that this doesn't go past this fold line, is my only concern. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? What am I thinking? We're going to want to use the gold ones, not the silver. So I wonder if those would go on there nice. We could do some little, maybe some stars. We'll see how it works with the texture. Apple, I think you just joined in. You think that's good, Lori? You should see your sugar cookies. Apple tart, is that it? Your handle comes up as a unique number now instead of a moniker. All right, so if that's going to go like this, we could probably even use this on here. Let's see if that works. And if it doesn't work, then we'll just have to cut another piece of the texture, because I kind of like that texture. Because then I didn't have to go to the trouble of actually embossing it either, because it was already imprinted. So we're going to just take that off of there. We're going to take this off of here, and I'm going to put this right across here and rub it on. And hopefully, it seems like it's sticking pretty good. And I'm going to peel it from... Well, thanks for popping in to say hello. Okay, it's not rubbing off, probably because of the texture. It's kind of lifting up, and you can see where I started lifting, it's kind of compromised there. So it might not work on this textured paper, but at least it was a good experiment. Well, if I'm gentle, that leaf kind of messed up a little bit. It's not so much pressure as it is, I think, the heat from the fingers, because it's already got adhesive on it. I can use a bone folder if I can find it again. Because I did a test on this before. Of course, I didn't test it on textured paper before. It's still lifting. I do have a fun New Year's card that I've made. I haven't done them yet for this year. I don't think this is going to work for me, folks. Part of it did work and part of it didn't want to come off. The adhesive is still on here, but it just doesn't want to lift off. I have a fun New Year's card that I do that's like a pop-out card. Yep, those still do not want to come off. And I'm sure it's because of the textured paper. Yep, that's just not going to work. So I can even get that to peel off. So your metallic rub-ons, don't try to rub them on textured paper because that won't work. But we could just rub this all off, I suppose. All right, well, you don't know if you don't try. We used to have some metallic, you could add it to alcohol and spritz it on. All right, so I think we're good with that. What I can do though is get like my pool party alcohol blend and splatter. And we'll get a similar effect. Let me go back out a little bit more again. Now I'm kind of doing a heavy splatter here. I try to be gentle on my tips, the marker tips, so that they don't break. All right. So that can go on there. I think that'll kind of work. Yeah. So I'm thinking we still need to do the same layering design on here rather than a separate color because of the pink. What do you think? And I'm going to move these out of the way because that's just not going to work on this stuff. Because that red could be pretty, but I think that's going to be kind of busy. Even with a pool party behind it, I think that might be kind of busy. What do you think? Let's cut this down and just kind of see what type of ink is in the markers. It's tinted alcohol basically, because these are alcohol blends. So there's alcohol in there and the ink. I don't know if there's any kind of glycerin or anything in them. I know some people, yeah, I think it's too dark too, Yuta. I know some people do either try to refill these or the regular markers. I don't know. I've never done that. Usually by the time mine are getting dry enough. Hello, Donna. Usually by the time my alcohol blends are getting dark enough or getting dried out enough, it's ready to get a new container because the sides start to split after a while as well. All right, so let's take a look at these. It's too bad there's not more that have pool party. All right. Excuse me. So that would be a pretty big design to put on that side. I think we just need to go with that same design for the second side. Does anybody disagree? And that was this piece. Or was it? Oh, this is the tighter design. That could work, but let me find the one that was the looser design. That was this one. Yep, that's the same. Yes, this is very pretty DSP, but we're running out of, oh, that's for the inside. We're running out of coordinated options. You know, I'm almost thinking I should round 2 of these corners so that it gives it a different look. I guess we'll play with that in a minute. All right, so let's go ahead and see what we need to do here. In fact, I'm gonna glue these pieces down because I think we're pretty well decided. Hello, Nicole. And I did pull out another bottle of glue because this one truly is almost done. That one is done. I've got one more here that's close to done also, but not quite as close as that one was. Now this one will have just a little border all the way around. Provided I put it on straight. Who's got all their Christmas decorations up? If you celebrate Christmas. We do. I mean, we celebrate Christmas, but I don't have all my decorations up. I put a wreath on the front door the other day. I put a little lighted snowman wooden. I'm not even sure what you would call it. It's like 3 feet tall. A friend made it for me. So there's 3 snowmen, and it's so cute because it's got a couple of chickens on the front of the bottom too. It's pretty cute. But it just lights up. The snowmen are just, it's all wood. It's like made out of reclaimed wood or pallet wood. I'm not sure if there's a difference. But then there's lights on it too, so it's cool. I do not have a Christmas tree up yet. We do a small tree. So I can't really round that edge because that's the other part of the card, and when we open it, that would show. So I guess we'll just glue this on as it is. I have, I can hear air coming out of that one. I have a big white nativity set, wooden, that we put out while it's laminated. I bought a couple of years ago, so it's got the nativity and a cow and donkeys and wise men and stuff. It's from a company in the US that makes them. I don't even remember what the company name is, but I ordered them and they're very durable. So maybe they're not really wood. They're not plastic though. I think they're laminated wood. But it's really quite pretty. We just put a spotlight on them and they're white. They're just a very classic looking white. Very simple. You can order colored ones, but we don't have the colored ones. shift just a little bit there. All right, and this one I don't want to attach yet, because if I do, and then if I stamp, when I stamp on it, it's going to be messed up because I glued it on. So I'm just going to put a little piece of seal on there so I can twist it off, but at least the parts aren't going to be falling apart. And then this we're going to do up on dimensionals. Well, Yuta, that's a start, getting a wreath up. We just have a small tree now. It's just a 4-foot tree that we put up in a corner of the living room. I'm actually to the point where I want to have a big tree again. But then I also like lots of lights, which means then also I have to take all the lights off. There, I think that'll do. Whoops, that one did come off. So Nicole, every year you buy 3 decorations for your children. Oh, glass birds, pretty. Oh, that's very sweet. All right, and this again, remember, we want to make sure that our branches do not exceed the side, the left side of this layer, because then it won't open. So that's going to go here. So we can go ahead and glue that on also. And then this is going to be easy because all I have to do is just butt it right up against the edge here. And put that on there. So we're coming along. Let's go ahead and do a pool party layer for the inside. So that's going to be 5. I think if I do 5 1/4. Let's do 5 1/8. If I have to trim it a little bit more. And then do 4 1/8. No, I need to go smaller. I didn't want to cut too much off. So we need to go just a little bit smaller. So if I would have taken just a regular layer, 4 by 5 1/4 would work. That'll be our layer for in there. Retro Queen is Vicky. Retro B art. Queen Bee, Retro Queen Bee art. So Vicky has a channel, Juju has a channel. Vicky does a bunch of different, would you call it multimedia? Juju seems to do mostly junk journals. Some of you other gals, I'm not sure exactly what your forte is and if you've got channels as well. I'm almost thinking I kind of like that pink. Yeah, YouTube did change that, and I'm not sure why. I kind of like that with pink. But I want the pool party on there. Let's just try a couple of things here. So we need 5.5. And let's see. So that we can do 1 7/8, it looks like. So now I could probably put rub-ons on here, and then I could put the rub-ons to an embossing folder. Do you think we need some gold on here? Yeah, sometimes changing the names is just a lot of effort, right? You're not thinking about it, you're just getting into whatever. So do we want to try rub-ons on here, do you think? Let me see if I can find... So here's another one of those. Leaves gold is good. These rub-ons, I almost missed them in the catalog. They're in the annual catalog. I'm pretty sure they're in the annual catalog. I almost missed them. So I think we can put that like right about so. And they're generally very easy to use, just not on textured paper because they already have adhesive on them. And we're just going to go like so. And this should work pretty good. And you like the snowflakes? There we go. That's more how it should work. All right, let's find those snowflakes. So these snowflakes here, I think that's the only snowflakes there were. Oh, that pulled off just a little piece of the leaf. I wonder if I can put it back. Probably not. I'm not going to be able to see where it goes. Okay. So we got there. That's all right. It'll be fine, she said. Lori likes gold splatters. I've done splatters before, like here. I've done some of the splatters before. I mean, I did splatter here, just not stamped or gold. But I don't want it to just look like a blob either because this card is just a little more sophisticated than that, I think. I like splatter. And I always have lots of splatter when I actually paint, like if I'm painting walls. That one turned out pretty good. So if that goes in here, I think we should probably put maybe another poinsettia on there, because I don't want to keep just putting random stuff, because I want it to look like it's supposed to be there, not like we just threw it together, you know? Splatter sometimes is just enough to like take the edge off of white. Like I'll do splatter with my alcohol blends usually. Flick it on kind of like I did here, just to kind of soften up a white background that seems too bright to me. All right, let's move these out of the way because I don't think we're going to use any more of this. I don't want it to become gaudy looking, you know. If you get these rub-ons, be careful because they will come off on other pieces. If something gets between the layers, like this, if something gets between those layers, it's going to come off. So be careful if you get this, the metallic rub-ons. So the rub-ons are a really good product if you don't like to do heat embossing. You know, if you don't have all of the tools or the toys to do heat embossing, these rub-ons are pretty convenient. I have a lot of little pieces here, sorry about that. Yeah, sometimes splatters do bring out the focal point quite nicely. Like even here, I could put some splatter on here and still put whatever sentiment we want on there. But then I don't want to have splatter all over everything else either. Just a little splatter. And I usually try to go diagonally across my page. So you probably, I don't know if you can see that little bit of splatter on there. Oh, let me turn on my other light too, that might help. But there's a little splatter on there. I like splatter. All right, so let's see about, oh, here's another rub-on. All right, I had some other pieces left over from when I did that fussy cutting. I don't think I threw them away, but maybe I did. Maybe I tossed them. Oh, here's one. Here's the other one. Oh, that's a good idea, Nicole. Use those for resist. So we're going to cut out a couple of these red ones. See, I can't talk as much when I'm fussy cutting. I have to concentrate. So that can kind of go in there. Maybe this way. I don't know, maybe that doesn't look good that way. I don't know if I like that or not. Where'd my other little piece go? So who else is crafting right now also? Or is everybody just watching with bated breath to see how this turns out? Try the right-hand bottom corner for the red flower. What am I going to do to cover up these stems though? Maybe the gold metallic rub-offs weren't a good idea. And now that I glued it on, I have to try to rub them off just like I rubbed them on. Hello, Linda. Just never know in the creative process how it's going to turn out, you know, if you haven't done your prototype. And sometimes I think the spontaneous ones are just, I don't know, there's something about them that is fun when you just don't know how it's going to turn out. We could cluster those there, and maybe if I do a couple more there, do you think that would be all right? Add another snowflake. Where do you think I should put the snowflake, like down at the bottom or over here? Or use a piece of the original DSP on top of this. We could cover up that pool party altogether. So let's take this and we're gonna go start at 1 7/8. We'll have to go smaller. So we could put that there. I'll have to trim that down a little bit more. Yeah, I probably would be less inclined to rip it apart than I would to just, I think I cut this too short now. Yep, I need that a 1/16 of an inch longer. That's all right. So I need 5 1/8. Yeah, I won't glue this on. We'll see how it looks first. We'll let it kind of massage our eyes and see what we think. So we could do that layer. We just need to take a smidge off the width here. We could do this. And I could still tuck a couple of these under here just for some extra texture. So what do you think of that? I think this way might, I don't know which way gives us a little bit more red. I think that way gives us a little bit more red. So do we like that with these extra pieces on here? Or like so. More fillers like the snowflakes on the pool party piece, right? We have those. I'm pretty sure we still have those. I know I have them in silver, but I want them in gold. There we go, I found them. Let's keep these clustered maybe. And I'm just going to open this up because I glued it on, so we'll make it flat. There we go. I was beginning to wonder if I was going to be able to get it peeled off. Some of these do not want to stay. There we go. So that one didn't want to stay, so I'm just going to rub that one off. Part of that didn't want to stay either. Let's get some more. Maybe over there. Well, I've done it with the bone folder. I've done it just with my fingers. It's not so much pressure as it is the adhesive adhering to the paper. Because even the last time when I used the bone folder, but that was on textured paper, you still have to be very careful when you peel it up. And then do we want, whoops. Do we still want some more on there, or the fussy cut flowers on here now? Did that give it enough extra filler, do you think? Part of this one that didn't adhere very well is going to be covered probably anyway. So the flowers on there as well, like so. All right, Linda's giving me a thumbs up. Yuta, it does help me to visualize. And that's why a lot of times I won't glue things down unless I've already done a card and I kind of know what's in my head. You need something on the right side, like the right side here or the right side here. The inside right. Do I need another flower or more snowflakes there maybe? Or stars or whatever they are. So in this part. inside right. Thank you. That helps. Like a few nights ago when you were saying yes, no, and my feed is slower, and I was belly laughing part of the time, you guys. I was trying to keep up, but with the delay on my feed, I was not catching what you were throwing. See, some of these are still not wanting to let go. There we go. Oh, and it looks like there should have been a couple of little ones on there. I think some of these might just be so small it doesn't want to stick. You need an odd number to look good to the eye. Exactly. All right. So I'll do another poinsettia, or is this 1, 2, 3? Because I could find another little poinsettia. Oh, I know, I could cut out just this little partial one and tuck it under. This paper is so pretty. I especially like the pieces that have the gold foiling. Something to cover the blank space, like here, because that's what these will be like so. But I can't let them go over the edge of the card because then it won't fit in the envelope. And I've got splatters here that you probably are having a hard time seeing. So I think the poinsettia plants, we call them a flower, but I think it's just a plant because the red is actually a leaf, just like the green is a leaf. But they also have the centers that to me would make them more of a flower. So how do we think that looks now? Because that's going to be like so. Is that better? So there's the front, like that, or the front like this. The flowers are actually the little yellow centers, and then the red is the leaves. Agree with you to something to cover the blank space. Looks great. No DSP layer. Okay. So we'll go like these, and I will just strategically place those to cover up the ends of the stems and my straight edge here. In fact, I think I'm going to cut this little piece off there and that little piece there so it doesn't look funky if something's just hanging out. All right. So I had this one up above, but maybe I'll put this one here. No, I think I still need this one because that covers that one better. It's amazing how much easier it is to work with a full bottle of glue than a partial one. And I'm just easing this to the end to kind of cover up that little edge of the pool party that just kind of looked like a sore thumb. Guess we'll leave that down. So what's in a Yule log? Now it looks like there's a blank space there to me. Maybe I should have moved that other poinsettia up a little bit. We got another little one here. So I always thought a Yule log was something you threw on the fire. My husband's all down for the eating, but not so much for him helping bake. He'll go to the grocery store and pick up whatever I need, though. And he'll help clean up. Oh. I kind of like this white one too. Let's just see. I just looked at the clock. This is a long time putzing for one card. And this one I'm just going to try to do a little closer to the edge. I'd like to think I'm getting a little better at fussy cussing because Juju makes me do it more often. But I'm sure it's probably still a little painful to watch. All right, so a Yule log is both. The one you throw on the fire is to make wishes on, and the Yule log you eat is a decorative. Oh yeah, the Swiss rolls. Got it. All those traditions we never did when I was a kid that I'm learning about now that I'm old. See, this is why I wanted to cut this one a little closer, so that I could camouflage or conceal that red that's around the edge here. So I'm trying to get it just so that that gold rim shows. There. All right. So I think because I have 3, and then if I put this other one, that'll be 4, and I need an odd number. So we're going to do the white one. So the Yule logs that you make, I imagine they might be kind of challenging just because the cake part you've got to get kind of thin, right? And then put like the frosted layer in there and then roll them without breaking it. Then I think I need some gold embellishments. Let's see what I can find. I've got to have some gold ones in here somewhere. I'm sure these are retired. 24, 25 blooming pearls. These are probably retired, but I'm going to put them on anyway. These are just little delicate ones. It's all right to use your stash, right? Did I spill flour? Did you spill the flour? When I bake, it's always a mess. All right, so retired gems, sorry. I try not to use stuff that's retired too much. So I kind of like how that looks. Although, I do need to put a sentiment across here somewhere too, don't I? Because it should probably say something. And then I need a Velcro dot because I want this to close. The Velcro dot, I think, is going to be well concealed by that white flower maybe. Let's give it a whirl. I'm going to use half a dot. Ooh, pastry chef, yummy. The daughter of a friend of mine is a pastry chef. All right, so I'm going to put that little part of the circle there on the white flower. And then I'm just going to close this on there. Well, that's not right. Nicole, she should not make a mess and leave. All right, so there's our little Velcro dot that's conveniently concealed by that white flower. That was a happy accident. All right. I like it with the Velcro dot. And then we need a little layer for the inside for here. And let's just make that, if I take a 1/2 inch off, I got quite a mess going on here. I'm going to save some of those. I try my best to clean up as I bake or cook, as the case may be. just because I don't like dishes sitting around afterwards. All right, so that'll go in there. And let's just see if I have some other little flour we can put on here. Oh, I can also do a little splatter here. I think, is this the dark? That's the light one, so let's do a little bit more with the dark. There we go. Thank you for popping in, Donna. Enjoy your dinner. And I am going to try fussy cut one more little piece here to put on this inside layer. And again, I'm trying to do this right on the gold border. Oh, we could probably do a couple of rub-ons in here too, on the inside layer. I'm just thinking that will look kind of pretty sitting in here. And then we can do a couple more of these. Well, Nicole, having a small kitchen is not always a bad thing. Because the bigger it is, the more you can spread out and the more mess you can leave. So having a small one and keeping it contained is not a bad thing. There we go. That's kind of pretty. Maybe I don't need that flower in there. If I find some more of those snowflakes, that might be better. I may have used them all up though. Nope, I found some more. Well, it's nice that your family comes and spoils you. It was nice for Thanksgiving that my husband's daughter actually hosted. Even though we took the turkey, it was still nice not to have to do all of the things, you know, and seriously clean the house and all of that. I think we're just going to go with that. All right, so I don't think this flower is going to add anything to this. But let's take a look now at some sentiments here. May the magic of Christmas fill each corner of your home and heart. Celebrate the season. It's the most magical time of the year. We use that one on these sliding gate cards. It's the most magical time of the year. That one's kind of fun. Or just warmest winter wishes. We could put that one inside. And we could do celebrate the season across the top there. That's a narrow one. Yeah, it used to be when my mom and dad were living here, if my mom and I cooked, my husband and my dad would clean up. And I thought that was fair. I like that bigger one for the front part. Which bigger one? The warmest winter wishes? Well, I can agree with the social media, quite honestly, but the e-scooter seems a little extreme. Has there been accidents or something? Go play outside. Which one are we saying? The bigger one for the front part? Yuta, which bigger sentiment? Like this one? If I put that on the front, it's going to cover a lot. This one? Or I could put that in here. It might fit in here. Oh, guess what? I haven't even used this one. Whoops. May your holiday season be filled with joy and happiness. Oh, well I can understand why they would want to do legislation then. Kind of like when they have to do motorcycle laws here, you know, but that's usually adults. There's another banner one. What's that got with it? I know I have the dies that make that banner. I've been using too many sets lately. I can't keep them all straight. I forget which ones I have. All right, where is that? Interesting. What do I do with it, I wonder? I probably have it in a bucket for a project somewhere. Hard saying. All right, we're going to work with what I have here. So the one with the magical. May the magic of Christmas fill each corner of your home and heart. We can do that. Here we go. Find the right rubber stamp to go on it. So Stampin' Up! Is phasing out these red rubber stamps. So they are not issuing any new stamps in red rubber anymore. The markers are also going away. All right, and then I think I'm gonna do secret C for the words, don't you think? Or should I emboss them in gold on white or on the pink? So do we want to put that like here? Oh, that would probably look cute. We'll have to fussy cut that too. So white with gold embossing or just a white piece with the dark lettering? Oh, for the inside? Like here or here? Somebody said the front, I thought. I like the bigger one for the front part, Yuda. Too big for the front. That's what I originally thought too. Put the sentiment inside the left-hand side of the front card. Put the sentiment inside, like here or here. Because I don't usually put sentiments here. I would put something here. This one would fit there, or it'll easily fit here, kind of nestled in, or the top this, or on a white piece here. Let's go ahead and get my secret C. I'm going to just stamp it out and we can see. See, this is where that delay is getting me too, because I can't tell with the delay exactly what you mean. And I'm going to back up just a little bit more. We'll go like this. Okay. Oh, Yuda, that's funny. That sounds like something I would do. All right, I'm going to close this up so I don't make a mess. I don't want to mess up something that we've made pretty, right? So let's go ahead. And I could probably have just done this as a block too. We might not even like it fussy cut. But I can always redo it because that's easy. The stamping part is easy. Juju should be proud of me though, all the fussy cutting I've done tonight. So when I have lots of letters like this, I just kind of go up and down and up and down, and it gives the illusion that I followed the letters, but I really didn't. I don't remember who taught me that, but I like using that technique because it does kind of work. Thanks for popping on, Apple. So, we do not want this on the front, correct? Because that's too big. Nothing on top of the flowers. So just leave this like this with no sentiment. And then this could go in here. So that's how that would look. Or it can go inside, nestled up here. Too big for the front, you mean? So do we want it inside the little card or inside the big card? I think it's too big for the front personally, but You guys are the one making all the calls. Inside the big card or inside the little card? And I'm going to stamp it. Okay, Yuda, I don't know what that means. All right, so Linda, you like it inside the smaller card? Nicole, inside the little card? I think that's really nice in there. All right. So we are going to ink this up again. And because I already glued this down, I'm just going to see how straight it is along the bottom edge. And when I go to stamp, I'm going to follow that bottom edge. Make sure I've got a fair amount of ink. And I'm thinking center. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Center or up? Center or up? I think center. I'm not getting any comments because of the delay, so it's going down. You just use seal to remove. Oh, you're right, Yuda. Because I only put that little piece on there. You're right. That looks beautiful. So now let's go ahead and put it in here for real. Oh, that's funny. Yuda, you are on the ball. This is where my husband would call me blonde, but I'm actually strawberry blonde, so that doesn't always work. All right. Good call, though. Is that straight enough, or is that a little crooked? It might be ever so slightly crooked. So if we go there. No, it's good. It's either good or good enough. It might be just tilted a little itty bitty bit, but whoever gets this card is not going to complain, I'm sure. All right. Oh, that is crooked. It's going to be fine. I need to just let it go, right? It's handmade. It's not perfection. All right. So I like our little Velcro dot in here. And I'm going to put a little glue on the back of that leaf. Because it's kind of getting wrinkled. All right. And then what about on the inside? Now that we've got our stars and our speckle. Or maybe I just leave that for my personal message. So this one says, may the magic of Christmas fill each corner of your home and heart, and may your holiday season be filled with joy and happiness. I could put that inside. What do you think? Blank inside, personal message. I'm good with that. Personal, personal, personal. I like the way you gals think. All right. So there is our beauteous card. Let me get this stuff out of the way, and I'm going to show you the card that we started with, remember, was Totally not Christmas, but I liked the layout. So here's the birthday card we started with. And this was just on a card base, so no open flappy nothing. All right, so just a little personal message there, and that was it. Certainly a cute card, but we stepped it up. So we've got our little miniature card on the front with our little message in there, but then we did this as an offset gatefold, and we have more on the inside. So I'll have to glue this down now also. Looks like a baby card. It says up, up, and away, hooray, it's your birthday. But it does have it was, excuse me, this was from a couple of years, several years ago probably. And that was just one of the pastel colors that were like in fashion at the time. But it does have kind of a babyish vibe to it. There. Yes, Nicole, somebody special needs to get the card. Somebody who's not going to complain that this is a little bit crooked. It's close, but it's just a little off. But it'll be good. Whoops. There we go. Thank you all for collaborating with me. It was fun. You made me laugh again, which is always a good thing. Don't forget to give me a like, thumbs up as you head out. Feel free to share this. Feel free to make one like it. Watch the replay if you need to go over some of our fly by the seat of your pants stuff. Well, I'm glad it doesn't look crooked to you, Linda. That's perfect. I enjoy sharing. And I enjoy having you share with me too, because we get a lot of good ideas that way. And that's why I like doing these, because you can get ideas from other people. Like Nicole, I think you said, you know, I only had that little piece of seal on there. I could have just taken it right out, right? But we can share ideas, and I think that's important. And the other thing is, I feel like the people that join me here, and especially all of you that hang in for the whole time, we're kind of like our own little community. We're friends. And, you know, when somebody's got their, you know, cousin issues and that, which, you know, we can feel with each other, and back procedures and all the different things, right? So thank you for hanging in with me. Thank you for collaborating on this fun card. Until next time, happy crafting.